Culture shapes human behavior and value system in any organization. And if you haven't heard this quote before, culture will eat your strategy for breakfast. Join me as I welcome Mr. Ravi Raghavan, Managing Director, Bharat Fritz Werner, and understand on how he has fostered positive impact in his organization. Bharat Fritz Werner is a global advanced manufacturing company headquartered in India. For over 6 decades, they have been involved in producing the highest quality of CNC machines across categories. Their machining solutions serve many sectors including aerospace, automotives, electronics, and medical engineering, turning critical industry challenges into innovation opportunities. Operating in 15 countries, they recently expanded into Europe to enhance their services to global customers. Sustainability is at the core of their practice, with focus on energy efficiency, waste reduction, and lean manufacturing. They are driven by diversity and inclusion, value employee well-being and development. That attracts top talent globally for a future of manufacturing excellence.
Marksman Daily presents C-Suite Conversations.
Welcome, Mr. Raghavan, and thank you so much for having me here.
Thank you, Sakshi, and wonderful to talk to you.
Great. So, for starters, my understanding is that you as a leader, you're very calm and composed, and you listen to other people. How has this come into shape? Is it because of your previous experiences?
Yeah, thank you. Good question. And I've been lucky that I have had a lot of my bosses like that, who gave a lot of importance to you as a youngster, believed in you, trusted in you. And the philosophy is, when you have taken a competent person, you spend a lot of money as a company, as a leader, to select the best person for the job. And then you expect that you will teach him. I think that's a wrong philosophy. So all the bosses have been like that from my very early days, who said that you know more than us. You write your own story. You write your own experience. You live your dream. We are there to correct you if you are going anywhere wrong. In that process, although you reach a point of making a mistake, you have good bosses who try to correct you. So you don't do a blunder. I was taught that perfection, I used to run after perfection from a very young age. I was taught that perfection should not be the goal. You can never achieve that. And that creates actually a lot of stress, a lot of, you get into too much pressure. You try to do things which should take more time, but you want to hurry up things and,
It's like a tick mark job.
Yeah. So what I was taught is look for excellence, try to do better and better and better. And then there will be a point that you will feel satisfied with what you're doing, right? But you shouldn't become complacent. So these are very finer things that you have to learn in the younger age, and that can happen only if you have good guides, bosses.
So looking back at your journey, has there been any time where you've taken a risk and you regret it? At the same time, there has been a lot of learning that's changed your life completely.
I had my first boss, when I was chatting with him, he said, okay, this is your first job, but you will be changing jobs. As a youngster, I said, no, I was working for Kelvinator. No, it's a great company, I'll retire from here and all that. He said, that means I give you 0 out of 10. You don't want to take risks, you don't want to try anything different, you're not curious, you don't want to do. And that's the first time it struck me, no, it's good. If everything is good, yeah, you can be with the same big company, change jobs, learn, nothing wrong with that. But then you can't say, I was young, first job, too excited, maybe trying to impress my boss.
That's right.
Right? So then he said, if you really want to test yourself, prove yourself, you should not change your job in the same industry. So all the 4 jobs that I changed have been in entirely different industry. So when I came to machine tool, I was in a completely different industry. But I have used a lot of machine tools, so I know about machine tools, but I'm not from that industry. I didn't know the business model of this industry. I didn't have anybody to guide me in this industry. But think of the uh, promoters of this company and the board of this company, who supposedly my bosses, who took that risk, right? That okay, get an outsider to do that.
New brain.
Now, when they have taken that, there is no way that I should not be doing that risk, right? And so we now have in our team people from different backgrounds. That's what I call conversions, right? That's very important that you get in people from different. It's an Indian thali. That's the best dish that one can have, right? You have different mixes. And that's where the meal is a beautiful meal. Otherwise, you can have the same amount of spaghetti or a baked pasta, right? But here you have variety, something spicy, something sweet, something from a different background, but makes a complete meal. And that's what I want to make of my team. People from different background, so that I get a nice meal for the company.
So how important is EQ when it comes to your leadership style?
Very important. I believe that emotions are very important, but should be managed. They go tangent at times. EQ is what graduates to a mature passion. So for me, it's more passion than an emotion.
So it's control.
Yeah, it's control, balance.
So in these conversations, I've always asked a standard question on when you're looking at hiring, what are the traits that you look for, especially when it's about hiring a leadership team?
Very good. I'm very different in that. Okay. I don't look at a CV. I just have to. So I talk to the person. I try to understand him or her. I look for the attitude of the person. I'm not at all bothered about the skill. I believe that skill and all can be practiced, learned. And that's where my teaching of my first boss comes in, that you should join any company which is not in that field, entirely different. So you're starting with ground zero. You're starting with 100% risk. So I give that opportunity to the person.
What would you do when it comes to your leadership style?
Human beings are very difficult composition, very difficult to understand, and I don't think any leader will say that all my choices have been perfect, everything has worked. It doesn't, right? And it's happened to me also. I would say I'd be very lucky if I say that 50% of my choices have been successes. I think one of the other traits that I would like to talk about of a leader is a good storyteller. And now I think big management schools in US are doing a course in MBA of storytelling. And this was taught to me by a gentleman called Jason Jennings, a great storyteller. And he says, leadership is only about storytelling. You as a leader, how do you tell a story? And how you make an employee tell his or her story. Right? And that's an art, and that's what the leader should do, nothing more than that. You have to be able to tell your story and sell it, not commercially, sell it really in a genuine interest to the employees. And that's what in management is called alignment and different nice names.
Different jargons, but it all comes down to that same box.
The only thing is, somehow you have it in your mind, you have to convert that into a beautiful story and communicate it in a simple, easy way. Right? Once that's bought, then it's easy to do. I would only end that question with one. Leader, to be a good leader, you should have been a good follower. I stopped reading books on leadership. Right? I was a very voracious reader on leadership. I would have thousands of books, but I probably have very few now. How many people have written books on followership?
Very few.
Right? You hardly know that. So if you're not a good follower, you can never be a good leader.
My last question to you would be, what will be your takeaway to the young leaders who are getting into corporate or specifically manufacturing sector? One tip you would like to pass on to them?
Build a passion for whatever you are doing, okay? And keep things very simple. I think people are making their life too complicated, comparing with somebody, doing it. You have been given a role in this world. Come and do a role. Do that passionately. with full integrity. You can't make a profit. You're not going to write a profit. Profit comes by doing certain things correctly. So its result is like that in everything, and everywhere you will have conflict. Look at a path that you feel is correct. Don't look at a path which is of least resistance. That's where you get tempted and do, because that may not be lasting. You may feel today it's very difficult, but then the path will teach you many things, and that's sustainable. But most important for me is keep life very simple. Keep it, anything you do, it's for work or it's for family, it's for your basic things. Keep things very simple.
Thank you so much for your time, sir, and the wisdom and all the inputs you've given us.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Psyche.
There are very few leaders who wear their heart on their sleeves. Mr. Ravi Raghavan is one of them. I was very happy to interview him today for C-Suite, where we spoke about everything under the sun, from company culture to food to travel and personal goals. Stay tuned for many such interactions with many more leaders. Thank you.